What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for this quick video, and today we'll be talking about how to shoot even you have a huge delay. This one here is more on how to play through and shoot decently even with a delay. This is not about stopping the delay itself, because for the most part, if you have a huge delay, you can't do anything about it to stop it. Of course, you can do stuff like connecting through physical cable or whatever, but usually it won't do much. So the focus here is how to adapt and shoot okay even with that delay. We'll talk about just the basics, so try not to expect some mind-blowing, super advanced tips here. But hey, who knows, maybe you can have a tip or two that you can use. At the moment, I have a delay and I'm shooting around 65% using around 83-point rating builds, which I think is kinda decent, and I'm using these following tips. If you have been following the channel for a while now, you probably noticed that my builds, even from the past years, are paint these types of builds or stretch bigs, or slashers that has a bit of 3-point rating. I never had a play shot type. That's because I have a delay. And by the way, after watching these, if you want to add some more tips, just leave it in the comment section down below. So now let's get right into it. So for the first one, you have to tweak these settings here according to your liking. This one here is kind of subjective, but for me personally, I like the very late because it will slow down your shot without touching the actual animation, which means yes, the timing will be slower, but the challenge will not be affected. I always believe that naturally, slower targets are easier to hit. In here you can see that even this bar here is lower, the animations are all the same. I even had a test before and it shows that challenge percentage will be the same, even you have very early or very late. Again, choosing very late is just my preference. You can choose whatever you want. My point here is you need to play around with these settings because each different settings will give you different points on your visual cues on your jump shot. So just change it according to your liking. If you want to learn more about it, just watch this video here on the channel. So far, in terms of views, this one here is my best one so far this year. So that's it for the settings. Now let's jump to the gameplay. First one, which I think the most important part, in my opinion, if you have a huge delay, it's hard to be a play shot type build. Of course, it's possible if you're a Ticino or Chalk type of player or somewhere near that, but for the most of us, it's really hard to keep up with that playstyle if you have a huge delay. There's a lot of other builds that are fun to play and can shoot at the same time. You can be a dominant big man that can shoot decently, or you can be a slasher that have a bit of 3-point rating, or there are some other locks that can shoot, or some other types of builds. In my opinion, if you have a huge delay and you want to shoot okay, I'm talking about 50% to 70%, you have two shots. First one will be the spot up shooting, the catch and shoot ones, and step back shooting. And of course, you can have both. For the most part though, it should be open shots. Having a delay, it's just hard to make those play shot type shots, those left-right stuff or those really quick pull-ups. Now for the next one, remove your shot meter. Aside from having a boost without it, I really think that in terms of having reference when to release the shoot button, relying on visual cues is much better than relying on one motion bar that keeps changing the speed because of lots of variables. Next one, in relation to visual cues, you have to pick a spot that gives you the best angle of your visual cue. For me, being left-handed, these spots here are the best ones. If you are right-handed, it's the other side. Of course, you can still have your shots on the other part of the court. What I'm saying here is that if you can, take most of your shots on the better side. In here you can see that if you're on the side, all the things that are happening on your jump shots are really visible here. The way the ball was held up, the cock back motion before the push off, the actual push off, and the flick of the wrist, it's all visible here. If you shoot on the other side or at the middle, some of these details will be missing, so there's not much reference when to release the shoot button. You having a huge delay, you always have handicap, so small details like this one really matter. So as much as possible, you need to capitalize on these things. And on top of those visual cue advantages, spotting up at the corner is the closest to the basket, and not only that, that's the best part as well to stretch the floor, and the hardest part to close out for defenders. The thing about spotting up at the corner though is that it's hard to go back on defense, so make sure that as soon as the shot was taken by you or your teammate, just go back on defense, or else your defender will just leak out for the fast break on the other end. Next one for the badges, this one here is pretty straightforward. Knowing that you'll be a spot-up shooter for the most part, try not to spread your badges that much. Just focus on catch and shoot types of badges. So again, most of these are subjective and there could be a lot more that I missed, so please let me know in the comment section if you want to share some other tips so others can see. So that's all for the video. If you guys like it, please smash that like button and please consider subscribing for more videos. And don't forget to drop by the channel for lots of other contents. And as always, stay safe and happy gaming, guys. Peace.